Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Ali from Candid Conversations. On Thursday night's show, we had rappers Big Herc and Royce the 5'9" on. Unfortunately, the first part of Royce's interview was deleted off Instagram Live. So what you're going to be seeing is the second part of Royce's interview. We would like to apologize to Royce and to our viewing audience for that happening, but we guarantee that Royce will be back on our show for another interview. Until then, please enjoy this part 2 of Royce's interview, and don't forget to go support Royce on his new project he just dropped, The Allegory. Thank you.
If this is your first and your last pass, I ain't gonna put it on blast. Your punk ass know what this about. You think it's about?
That's that Overcomer, baby. let me just play a little bit of this.
Though you a vulture pundit, I hope you get sober from this. Men lie, women lie, so do numbers. The energy never dies when you are overcomer. The energy never lies when you are overcomer. I don't rhyme for the likes, I'm who the jealous target. I'm underground for life, this shit is a seller's market. The rich get rich, the poor get more greedy. We need Clarence A to get what's old in these board meetings. Rappers catch L's after just squeezing them 4 feezies. Crackers patting themselves after the teachings of Morris Levy. But I was dubbed the greatest by the gossip. I'm King Tut the haters from the spider cockpit. And Jacob Custom makes me fire watches. Inspired by DJ Driving Sides with cut creative.
Hey, man. That's one of my favorite ones right there. Now, you originally what's my man's name? Westside Gun, is that his name? He's on there with you, but I just wanted to play your verse. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm talking to you right now. But that he killed his too. I ain't gonna even front. You know, he was dope. He was dope. So jumping back into it, let me ask you this, man. At what point did well, let me say it like this: how do you and M come together? I've always wanted to know that because I never understood or I never knew how that happened. How did you and M come together, man? How did you even meet him?
I met Marshall in '97.
Okay.
I seen him a bunch of times. You know, I heard him rap a bunch of times. I even bought the EP before I met him. But I was doing the show. I was opening up for Usher.
Okay.
Usher was doing like this little theater on the east side. I can't even remember the name. Oh, the Palladium. He was doing a spot called the Palladium. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was opening up for him, and I did an acapella. And after I got off the stage, my manager was talking to him because he was at the show. He was selling. He had like a booth set up, and he was selling the Slim Shady EP.
Okay.
And him and my manager was talking. Then I went over there to him where they was talking at. And he was just like, he quoted one of the lines that I said. And he was like, man, that was ill. And I was like, thank you, man. Thank you. So, you know, we talked for a minute. We exchanged numbers. And I kind of kept it pushing. So, you know, from there, we just started kicking it. You know what I'm saying? That was back when we was using the landline.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we started kicking it. We started talking on the phone, started talking rap shit. And then he eventually ended up getting his deal with Dre. And one thing led to another. I ended up out there because he played my demo for Dre.
Okay.
Dre heard my demo. Dre liked my demo. And Dre called my mom and dad crib one day, just out the blue.
Whoa.
I was just in the room. I was in the room chilling. My dad walked in and was like, Ryan, Dr. Dre is on the phone for you? I was like, what?
Right.
So I got on the phone with him, and then, you know, I went out there. Me and Marshall, you know, we were working on the Chronic. And then, you know, then I signed my deal.
That's what's up.
And, you know, the rest is history.
So I just heard you say you're working on the Chronic. That's one of my favorite projects of all time. How much input did you have on the Chronic, man? Like, because I was hearing as you were doing what you were doing, as you were blowing up and doing what you were doing, you know, of course, I'm hearing everything like, whoa. And I was super proud of you, man. I was like, that's what's up. And not just because I knew you, but also because you represent the D to the fullest, man. I mean, like, and that's something that I really like, or should I say, I really love about you, man. You represent where you from. You get some cats that I'm not saying they don't represent, but they kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit. and they more so go with the vibe of whoever they with, whatever new crew members they get and they circle. But you seem to always take it back to the D every time. Like you represent the D, man. So, but how much of influence were you on that project, man?
I mean, I wrote a whole lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
The only song that ended up making it was the Message with Mary J. Blige.
The Message, yeah.
But I mean, I was in and out, writing all kinds of stuff. You know, I don't know how much. I don't know if I could use the word influence. I don't think I've influenced anything, but yeah, the message by Mary J. Blige. You know, it was just that song came together. That song came together in a way where it was just meant for that to be. You know, like when I wrote that record, I was writing about Ye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he ain't changed. He didn't change a word. Dre didn't change not one word. He didn't change not one word. You know what I mean? So the way it came together was just, and I didn't know anything about him having a brother passing.
Yeah.
Anything like that. I just was. I had took a stab at so many records that I was like, damn, I don't know what else to talk about.
Yeah.
And the OG Lord Finesse came in.
Lord Finesse, yeah.
With this beat. And I just thought it was crazy. So I just started writing from experience.
That's what's up.
He listened to it one time and immediately start cutting vocals. Normally he'll be like, all right, I'm gonna take it, memorize it, or I'm gonna live with it, see what I think.
Yeah.
But he immediately started cutting vocals.
That's
you know what I mean? And I had no idea. Just one of those things.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. I never knew that.
Crazy, right?
Man. Yeah, that's real crazy. So let's move to this real quick. Let me ask your permission first. Is it cool to talk about Slaughterhouse? Can I mention? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let's start with this. How did Slaughterhouse come together, man? Y'all was four brothers. First of all, y'all was four lyrical brothers. Y'all wasn't just four rappers. Y'all, you know, you got your rappers and then you got you. You know what I'm saying? So for four lyrical guys to come together and mesh so well like Slaughterhouse did, man, like who put that whole situation together? How did that come about like that?
Well, we just not nobody in particular responsible. You know what I mean? Like we just all of us had like a buzz in the underground. Joe reached out to everybody to be on a song called Slaughterhouse.
Joe Button?
Yeah, on his he had this project called Halfway House.
Okay.
And he reached out to all of us to be on the song.
Okay.
And when I talked to him about it, I was asking him, okay, well, who's gonna be on the song with us? And when he said everybody that was gonna be on the song, I was like, shit, this sounds like a Slaughterhouse. He laughed and he was like, I might call it that. You know what I'm saying? So when the song came out, he called the song Slaughterhouse. And the reaction that we got from it, it was kind of like, we got to kind of like do this some more. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to keep working. We got to keep working together. So we agreed to just keep working with each other. You know what I mean? We kept doing songs together. One thing led to another. We started kind of like traveling and meeting up places. And we kind of noticed that that people love to hear, not only did they love to hear us rapping with each other, but they love to see us interacting with each other.
Yeah.
Like just us interacting with each other, like it always got a real high engagement.
It was definitely a chemistry. Man.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we still to this day don't know what that is. You know what I mean? So we just kind of went with it, and we kept recording. You know, kept messing with each other. One thing led to another. Then we were on the Rock the Bells tour.
Yeah.
And then that led to us doing the album. And then that led to, you know, the album came out. Once the album came out, it was the #1 independent album in the country.
Wow.
And then once that happened, all the labels start calling.
That's crazy.
You know, so it went from there.
That's what's up. Now on the downside of it, what was the demise of the group? Why did everybody go their separate ways? What was the one event, or if there was one event, what happened to make everybody say, you know what, that's enough for Slaughterhouse. I'm going on this way. I'm going this way. I'm going that way. You know what I'm saying? What happened?
Well, there was a series of things. There was a lot of things that was happening that slowed down the process of the album, or the last album that we were working on. There was no real demise of the group because we still a group.
Okay.
We never broke up.
Okay.
We broke up. We just not doing music right now.
I got you. Okay.
But there was some things that happened, and there was a lot of things that happened that slowed it down. And the very last thing, Shady, the label, decided that they didn't want to put the album out.
Oh, okay.
Once that happened, we were already doing all our separate thing anyway. So
okay,
you know, so it just is what it is. So right now it's just up in the air.
Okay, so, but the group is still intact though, right?
Yeah, we good.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought y'all broke up, and that was just, you doing your thing. Joe's doing. Cause I know Joe got the podcast that's really cracking right now. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, this over for Slaughterhouse, man. I was mad. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah. No, I mean, we haven't talked about doing music, but nah, we never broke up.
And I work with King Crooked. I did a beat that he got on with my man Logic. Shout out to my man Logic from Detroit. I think he's on here right now watching. But I did a beat. Logic went and got King Crooked for the beat. And so, to my to add to my collection, I can say I work with King Crooked, man, which is an honor. You know what I'm saying? And I worked with you before, so I got, hey, man, I feel like I need some plaques on the wall right now. But yeah, man, I love Slaughterhouse, man, and I hope y'all definitely put something else back out, like ASAP, man. Just for me, if for nobody else, just for me. You know what I'm saying? But so now let me ask you this, man. You like I spoke about it before. You really support Detroit, and I really love you for that, man. But now as far as like who you support from the D, how do you go about because I know you get a lot of requests for features. I know you do. I know you get a lot of homies from the crib like, hey man, I need you to hop on it. How do you cipher who to work with and who not to work with, man? Because I know it's a lot of people coming at you right now. What is the thing that makes you say I'm gonna work with this cat, or I'm nah, other than maybe they whack. I mean, if they whack, they whack. But I'm just saying, what is it that makes you say yay or nay?
Well, with me, man, I need to be able to look myself in the mirror and honestly say that I'm doing everything I can. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't necessarily say no. Like it's gonna depend on the situation. Obviously I can't do everything.
Right.
I just do what I can.
Okay.
And one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm not gonna sacrifice something that I'm working on. Like I'm not a good multitasker at all.
Okay.
So usually when I'm working on a project, it's real hard for me to do like features and stuff. But just for the love of Detroit, I do features all day.
Yeah.
Unless I just don't like the song.
Right.
But I feel like we all we kind of owe that, man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
We owe it. It's like it's a part of success. It's a part of success. Sharing information.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then doing whatever you can to help the younger dudes help nurture them. Yes. A lot of times it's not always about a feature.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just about making sure that they are provided with the right information, or just, developing some type of brotherhood with them, whatever it is. But, like, I just really, I'm trying to take the steps to get into the minds of these kids, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just change the way that they think.
They need it,
get
man.
them
They
to
need
understand that it's not a competition. None of us are in competition with each other.
Right.
None of us. You know what I mean? So, fucking feature, man, it's nothing. 16 bars, it's nothing. Right. It's no problem. You know what I mean?
Dope.
But it's just, it's just, like I said, it ain't always about that though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. Sometimes it's just about being accessible. Like I've gotten on the phone with some of the young guys and they be like happy that we just on the phone. I'm like, it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, that attitude is gonna really pay off.
Yeah, I don't want niggas thinking, I don't want niggas thinking that I'm on some pedestal somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, but you know what? Let me say this about you, man. and I know sometimes you might not want to toot your own horn, so I'll toot it for you. You are on a pedestal, and I'm not saying that to say that, I'm not saying that you think you're better than everybody else, but what I am saying is that your God has given you a pedestal to be up on, like you said earlier, to help the younger generation, man. So it's like you've accepted that calling. I feel like really, I think about it more spiritual than anything, man. I feel like there's a calling on your life to help out the younger generation, because nobody else, I won't say nobody, but there's few people out here with your mind state that even want to help the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? They doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying? They just kind of like whatever on everybody else. But you actually take time out to school them, to nurture them, and they might be looking at you like the OG, but you accept that. You like, yeah, that's what I am.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And all I'm doing is putting some perspective with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because in their mind, when you say pedestal, you automatically think, oh, that nigga somewhere, we don't never see him. You're right. You don't never see me.
Right.
You're not going to never see me just driving around the hood. There's no need for me to do that. You know what I'm saying? But
that's called being smart.
Yeah, but I mean, like whatever. Like I feel like I can do that if I want to.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Because not on the tough guy shit. I just feel like I love niggas and niggas love me. Yeah. So I can ride where I want to ride. But it just so happens that I got shit that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I try to wake up every day and have a purpose in life. Like I try to move with a purpose. Right. But please believe, if it's a reason for me to pull up, if I need to pull up for one of my youngins, if I need to pull up and be accessible to one of my youngins, that's important to me. Right. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna always do that. You know what I mean? So I just feel like we gotta, niggas gotta lead by example. Niggas gotta lead by example. I feel like if niggas see me doing it, then maybe other people would, follow suit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that separation between success and just the macro level, the grassroots level of the hood, that disconnect right there, is costly. It's costly. Yeah. Absolutely. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a disconnect. It should always be a connection. It should always be a connection to high level. I'm tired of niggas thinking that just because a nigga get rich, that nigga got to be in the Illuminati and all of this old shit. Right, you know right. Like, it's just like it's too much of a disconnect in information. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%, bro. I do, man. It's a real big gap. It's a disconnect, man. And until everybody gets in that same mind state that you're in right now, it's going to continue to be that. But hopefully one day, we all come and on that same page and get to that. Let me ask you this real quick. Switching to a lighter note, man, or a funnier note, should I say? You just got an invite from somebody that you've been looking up to all your life, man. And we were on the phone a couple of days ago, and you actually told me about it. But I want you to tell the viewers, man, about how LL Cool J invited you into his live, man. How was that for you, nigga? I know you look up to LL, man. Man, this nigga caught me off guard, man. So you know how you get the notification, the notification that says somebody's going on live with somebody. So I see the notification that LL Cool J is going live with Big Daddy Kane. So I'm like, holy shit! Let me go see what these niggas. Let me see what these two goats is conversing about. You know what I mean? Right. So I log on. I go on there to see these two niggas interacting. And they talking, man, and I'm fanned out. You know what I mean? I'm putting all type of goat emojis in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Right. So then he like, yo, Kane, man, it was good having you, man. Kane leaves, and now it's just Cool J. He like, yeah, man, something. Then next thing you know, it's like, Royce, where you at? Royce, I'm like, holy shit. So I'm like, I saw that. First I looked around, I hear him he's saying my name. He like, Royce, I'm about to patch you in. Bro, I was laying on the couch. I jumped up off the couch. I swear to God, I jumped up off the couch and threw a hat on. Because under this hat, I got the Sherman Hemsley Deluxe. So nigga, I jump up and throw the hat on. I swear to God, I got the hat on just in time. As soon as I got the hat on, I was live. I was like, man. And then I just fanned out from there. We just exchanged pleasantries from there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah. He's definitely a goat. He's definitely a goat in this game, man, for sure.
Come
I,
on, man. What?
I had the opportunity. I signed a production deal with him for 2 years, man. I had to watch myself because upon meeting him, I fanned out immediately. I was
Yeah,
like,
man.
oh
Come
my
on,
God,
man.
it's LL Cool J, man. Like, stop playing. But
Mhm.
it was a great situation, man. And he's of course, other than him just being flat out talented and doing what he's doing, he's
Yeah,
a cool guy too. He's a really cool guy, man.
dude is the man, man. He's
Yes,
the man.
he is. Yes, he is. Now, you know what? I don't know if you heard about this or not. 'Cause I know, I got to talk about this with you because you stay awake, man. As they say, you stay woke all the time. But
Hmm.
I don't know if you heard about what happened in Brunswick, Georgia. Have you heard about the young black man that got killed in Brunswick, Georgia?
Um,
What's his name? His name was hold on, I got his name written down here. It's Ahmad Aubrey.
no, what happened?
Okay, so what happened was I think he was a football player or something, would play some type of sport. He would jog every day. All right.
Okay.
And Brunswick, Georgia is further out of the city. So you always gonna get anytime you go that far out the city, you always gonna run into a couple of good old boys. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he's jogging through his own neighborhood. This man lived in his neighborhood. He's jogging through his own neighborhood, and this white guy and his son see him jogging through the neighborhood. So they grab their guns, hop in their truck, hunt him down, chase him down, approach him, and tell him he fits the description of somebody that's been robbing and robbing houses and robbing people in the neighborhood, and they gun him down. All right? They kill him for no reason, just because in their mind, in their racist mind, he fits the description of some guy that I don't know, quote unquote, was robbing people. I don't even know if this guy really exists or not that they were talking about. But long story short, they gunned the man down, kill him, and nothing's happened to him yet. They have not been
But they
arrested.
haven't been charged.
No charges or nothing, man. So I wanted to talk about that, man, and and get your views on that situation, man, because that's like, see, and I'm really upset about it. I was watching the Kenny Burns show yesterday, and he had Sean King on there, and they were talking about the situation, and I knew about it. I heard about it when it first happened, but just watching that show, watching the Kenny Burns show, ignited something else in me because it's like they try to act like, when I say they, I mean corporate America, they try to act like stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. But clearly it does, because it happened right here, maybe a couple of miles away from where I live, down here in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So hearing that, I thought you knew about it. That's why I brought it up. But
Well,
just
was he armed?
no, he wasn't armed. Nope. He had
So
no.
how could they not? How could they not be charged? I don't understand that.
That's what everybody's trying to figure out right now. Nobody knows why. And the man that the father that initiated all this whole thing, he was a cop. I want to say maybe 10, 15 years on the force, and then he was also a district attorney at some point. He was retired though, and they hunted the black guy down, killed him for no apparent reason, and then no justice has been brought to the situation. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't look like it's going to be. They kind of just trying to sweep it under the rug. So what's your take on stuff like that happening in these times? It's 2020, man, and young black men are still getting gunned down by racist white men. Let me just go ahead and say it like it is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, it's oh, he's a retired police officer. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
You know?
I mean, look, man, I think we've all identified with what the problem is.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of us are willing to accept it. Some of us are not,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, for whatever PC reason.
Yeah.
I think we know the steps that need to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to, us as a community, us as a black community, I think we need to start thinking more like a collective. I think we need to start taking steps together.
Yes.
We need to start taking steps together to protect one another, to protect our children,
Mm-hmm.
and just not allow them to, keep using whatever they're using to escape around these situations. You know, like they sweep them under the rug, and it seems like there's only a like a quick moment in time of outrage.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, everybody's on to the next thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, I can kind of see how it goes. You know, like they're obviously controlling everything involving programming that you see. So, you know, however they want to paint it to the public, they're able to do that as well. So, I mean, I think we need to start focusing on us, and we need to start taking the steps to protect our communities.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's
You
just
know, like Malcolm X say, by any means necessary.
By any means necessary. Yes,
That's
sir.
how I feel about my children, and I don't just feel like that about my children. I feel like that about your children too.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. It's got to be a family type affair. You know what I'm saying? We have to be like-minded, and that's
I think it's way deeper. It's way deeper than just who we're voting for, or anything like that. I think to just leave it in the hands of like lawmakers and politicians, I just think there's a construct in place.
Yeah.
There's a construct in place. You know, like systemic racism is a real thing.
Yes, it is.
You know, and there's a lot of money to be made in the oppression of Black people. You know, like that's billions of dollars being made just off of oppressing you.
Yes.
So
yes,
why would anything change?
Right.
If this is the actual construct that's in place. Why would that change? Unless we take the steps to start changing things. If we're not going to come together as a people and move somewhere else,
that's it.
If we're going to live here, then we might as well live here as a collective. And you know, like they need to be made to feel like if they do something to one of us, then they're doing it to all of us.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Until it can be like that, then we have no power.
That's it. I agree with that 100%, 1000%, bro. I agree with that. I'm not gonna hold you up. I know you're a busy man. I just got maybe 2 or 3 more questions I want to ask you. And the first one is this: top 5 dead or alive. I want to know what's your top 5 dead or alive. I gotta hear from you, man. Who would you? Who in your mind? Who is the GOAT? And I know you're already a GOAT. We all know that. But outside of yourself and maybe some other people that you know and love, top 5 dead or alive. Who would you name?
MCs
of
all time. I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. I mean, I think you gotta put Biggie and Pac in there.
Yes.
You know, like they got to be on everybody's at least top 10 list. You know, I think it should be done by generations. You know.
Okay. I never thought about it like that, but okay, yeah.
Can you really say, Coogee Rap, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One, Chuck D,
yeah,
Eminem, Jay-Z, Nas, Black Thought,
yes sir,
Snoop, Ice Cube. I mean, it's hard to just pick 5.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's cool to have more than 5. I just wanted to pick your brain to see who you thought was the top 5 dead or alive. But yeah, you're absolutely right, man. It's real hard to narrow it down to 5. I was just trying to see where you was at with it.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
It is real tough. It's super tough. Man. And now you know what? You've worked with a lot of producers, man. And switching gears real quick, you work with a lot of producers, but you work with DJ Premier, man, and that's one of my favorite producers. I got Dr. Dre. I love Kanye West. I love his production. There's a lot of producers out there that I like, but DJ Premier, man, is like he's in my top 5 as producer. You know what I'm saying? How is it working with Premier, man?
Man, I mean, I'm still taking it back. Just moments I have with him these days. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to let the fanfare go. And he's one of my closest friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it's still surreal working with him, especially to the degree that I work with him. You know what I mean? Like working on all the Prime albums.
Yeah.
And just how easy everything flows.
Yeah.
When we working together, because Preem understands the psychology of producing.
Yeah.
Like he understands the comfortability of the artist and how important that is.
Yeah.
He understands how important that the vibe is.
Mm-hmm.
So his spirits is always up. His vibe is always good.
Mm-hmm.
You sometimes you be in there with him and you forget that you in the presence of a for real legend.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
because he's so
Definitely.
cool. You know, he's
Yeah,
so cool with everything. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I mean, that's basically how it is working with him every time. Never a dull moment.
Mm-hmm.
He always got the best stories. You know, I could just sit and listen to DJ Premier stories forever. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? So
yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine, man.
that dude, man, he tells them vivid stories. And it's like his memory is good. You know what I mean? Like all of the fun that they used to have back then, you know, all of the partying, the drinking and all of that they did back then, he remember everything.
Wow,
You know
that's
what I mean?
crazy.
So
I would
it's
love to be a
cool,
fly
man.
on the wall with him, man. I would love to be a fly on his wall. Just
Yeah.
soak it up.
That's
You know what I'm
exactly
saying?
what the vibe is like. It's one of them fly on the wall vibes. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I could
Yeah.
imagine. I could imagine.
Yeah.
Sir, yeah. And then uh, two more questions. The first one is, I know you were very close to Proof, man. Rest in peace to Proof. And I could not do this interview without asking you about Proof, man. Like, Proof impacted a lot of people. I know. I tell a story all the time. I spoke to him about 2 weeks before he passed, and it was my first. I never met Proof in my life, my homeboy Blackface put me on the phone with him, and was trying to link us up to do some
Mm-hmm.
work together. And he talked to me like he'd been knowing me all his life, man. And that made me feel like this dude is like he's 100% real. You know what I'm saying?
Special.
I know he didn't know me from Adam, but he spoke to me that night like he'd been knowing me all his life, man. So what did Proof mean to you, man? And his impact. What kind of impact did he have on you, man?
I mean, you know, Proof was always a leader. You know, the
Yeah.
first time that I went to the hip hop shop, he was hosting. He was
Mm-hmm.
hosting and he was passing the mic around in a circle.
Uh-huh.
I remember hearing Elzai, Marshall,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of the other guys. And I remember thinking to myself, like, damn, I'm not as good as I thought I was.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like these
Uh-huh.
dudes rapping, they was rapping on a whole nother level.
Uh-huh.
And it's like if he decided he's gonna embrace you, he makes you feel like that you're a part of everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he would just kind of like the bridge between everybody and everything. Like he knew
Mm-hmm.
people in every hood.
Yeah.
He was connected to everybody in some sort of way. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah.
The only other person in history that we follow that I can think to compare him to is like Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's
Like if
good.
he had, you know, if it was somebody that you can compare Proof to as it pertained to his reach in Detroit and the way he impacted Detroit, it would
Mm-hmm.
have to be like Pac.
Yeah. Like
You
I
know what
said,
I
I
mean?
didn't know him. I didn't know him personally, but I knew a lot of people that knew him, and all I would get was just the type of stuff you're saying right now about Proof, man. And
He's just a cool ass dude. Cool ass
yeah.
dude. Extremely smart.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely smart. Zero to 1,000 in 2 seconds.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
0 to 1,000 in 2 seconds, and then back to zero. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Right.
he's one of
Yeah.
them dynamic, just multi-layered, special individuals.
Yes.
You know, like if he was still living, I could see Proof being like a high level executive and a producer.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
just
Okay.
his connection to the artist would be second to none.
Okay.
Second to
Okay.
none. You remember how I was telling you like how it is when I'm in with Preem?
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see it being like that with Proof.
Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like I could see him having that same kind of connection
Mm-hmm.
just to artists.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like in a lot of the youngins in Detroit now, a lot of the youngins that are coming up, especially since a lot of them lean more toward more like the street rap in Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He would have connected to all of them super easy, super
Okay.
easy, super
Okay.
easy, no problem. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
You know me. I'm more on the lyrical side.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So you wouldn't think Sada Baby wouldn't think to reach out to me necessarily.
Right. Right.
Don't mean that we don't have mutual respect for each
Right.
other.
No, I got you. Yeah, I
You know what
got
I'm
you.
saying? It just
Yeah.
means, like, but proof would have been on top of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I just got to think about shit like that. Like, yo, I got to make sure I take the steps
Yeah.
to close the gaps and do some of the reaching out myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just stay on top of that shit in that way. You know what I
That's
mean?
what's up. Yes. Yes. That's good. That's what's up, man. That's Proof was definitely a cornerstone in the D, man.
Niggas
And
a juggernaut.
all over the world.
Juggernaut, man.
All over the world,
Juggernaut,
man.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And last but not least, what's I know you kind of touched on it before we logged off before, but What's next for you, man? Are you because I know you just dropped the allegory. Are you working? How do you work in the studio? Are you because when you drop something, do you just drop it and you just focus on that, or are you just dropping and working? Drop. How do you do that? How you doing it?
I usually work better when I focus on things.
Okay.
When I'm
Okay.
focusing on things, the key for me is just to figure out what the hell it is I'm gonna do.
Uh-huh.
You know, like that's always so tough for me. So it's a little soon. It's a little soon to jump into a project now.
Uh-huh.
Right before the quarantine hit, I was focusing on Ashley.
Okay.
I was focusing on Ashley and just working on her stuff. And then, you know, she got like damn near a whole album done. So, you know, I was focusing on like mixing and then once the quarantine hit, she's just at the crib. She's chilling.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So
Yeah.
everybody's taking all the precautions just to make sure that we stay safe. You know what I mean? Like we don't.
Was there already a release date set for her project already in your mind?
But we getting there.
Okay.
We getting there though. We getting there.
Okay.
We getting there. I just sent her a beat a couple days ago that she fuck with. So
Now that's another thing I didn't touch on, man. You making beats, man. I didn't know until maybe a few days ago when I think you and I were talking on the phone and you said that. I was like, and then I started hearing the beats. I was like, whoa, this you got that gift too. You know what I'm saying? You got that thing too. So how did you start making beats? When did you start making beats?
I mean, the allegory is the first. It's the first. Those are the first beats that I made.
Okay.
Like I just start practicing. I got some equipment and I start practicing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then one thing led to another. I started rapping to some of them.
Okay.
You know, one song turned into 2 songs, turned into 3 songs.
That's it. That's how it happens.
It's just one of those things, man. You know, I just feel like if it's a passion of yours and you're willing to just practice, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, as they say, the 10,000 hours. If you're willing to put in the 10,000 hours, I mean, I think you can pretty much get good at anything. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
I've always produced. I just never made beats.
Uh-huh.
But you know, like when we were doing Slaughterhouse, you know, my role in the group was kind of like to bring the songs home. You know, like I had a relationship with everybody's verse. You know, I was the guy who was doing the drops. I was the guy who was arranging all the beats when we get the 2 tracks and all that shit. So and I arranged all my albums. You know, so I learned a lot from Mr. Porter, just being in here working with him. You know,
shout out to Mr. Porter, man. He's
a wizard.
Yes, he is.
So, you know, like I learned a lot from him. I learned a lot from doing the Prime projects with Preem. And you know, I just felt like, you know, if I can learn like the hardware and the software shit, I can just do some of the stuff myself too.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's pretty much where it came from. So, you know, like when I did the allegory, it took a lot out of me. So I didn't want to make another beat for a minute. You know what I mean? Like I start collecting beats again. And then once I got back in the studio, not knowing that I was going to be here because I thought I was going to be on the road, I started writing a bunch of stuff. Then I had to cut my own vocals. I didn't really like doing that. So now I'm back kind of making beats again right now. Like that's what I've been doing like the last week or so, just making beats, focusing on making beats.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, man. And you know what? Real quick before we go, I got to give a shout out to QV, D White, Birdie, Toe, the whole crew, man, because you know
my babies.
My cousin Q, for the people that don't know this, is the reason why you and I know each other. So you know he brought us together many moons ago, and we met, and you know you kept it 100 with me ever since then, man. And I really appreciate that about you, man. Really, for real.
Come on, man.
You know?
Family, it's family, always.
And I want you to know that, man. Really, I keep saying that to Jesus Christ the sky, man. You are, you know, you keep it 100 with me all the time, and that's rare in this game because a lot of people say, oh yeah, you know, that's my man, whatever. And then if I see him, I try to talk to him. They try to high post me, whatever. You know, it's whatever. You know, I don't, but you keep it 100, man. I really appreciate it. Love you for that, man.
For sure. Love and respect to you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Always.
I'll let you get out of here, man. But I just want to say thank you for coming to the show, man. Let's do this again. Let's keep doing it.
Anytime. Just hit me.
All
you know the number, my guy.
For sure, man.
Love and respect to you, OG.
Tell Kid Vicious I said keep that coming, man. That's hot.
We'll do.
All
Peace
right,
and love.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, that was my man Royce the 5'9", y'all. That was my guy. I've been knowing him forever. And like I just said, y'all heard me say it. He always keeps it 100 with me. I don't never have to ask him twice for nothing. He always keep it 100 with me. And so for that, I love him, man. I want to say big shout out to Big Hurt for coming through tonight. I appreciate you, fam. And, hey, man, I got 2 legends on tonight. And made my whole week, man. I'm good. Listen, next week, I'm doing a Mother's Day show. It's going to be a Mother's Day special. I'm going to have 2 very, very, very near and dear to my heart artists on my show. My sister, Lisa Page Brooks, and my niece, Tasha Lockhart. House. Forgive me, Tasha. But I'm having my niece and my sister on next week for my Mother's Day show. So y'all make sure y'all tune in next week. I think that's May the 7th. Next Thursday, 8 o'clock. IG Live at Chiva the Man. Y'all holler at your boy. Tonight's listen, last week I was supposed to feature my man Preach. He put a new project out called Collection Plate. I played a little bit of it, but for some reason my IG cut it off. So I'm gonna end the show for one of his songs. He just dropped a project. His name is Preach. Y'all go holler at him on IG. His new project is called Collection Plate. Y'all support this man, all right? He got some fire on his project. And I'm gonna play a little bit of this for you as I exit, all right?
I grew up outside in the apartment playing Halo. They got some problems in the line, they got Halo. I got some problems still inside, they can't go home. I got some niggas, they gon' ride for me, go home. She say she died for me, never. You gotta learn to let it go. Man, the guy was like narrow. We got outside, we had to narrow. You know the guys in the hood, we superhero. But no disguise, super flying. Hero, it's surprise, the neighborhood ego. I get a vibe with the ego. They know my MO like hello, they know like I know my MO gon' blow. I grew up outside in the apartment playing Halo. They got some problems in the line, they got Halo. They got some problems still inside, they can't go home. I got some niggas, they gon' ride for me, go home. She said she died for me, never. Gotta learn to let it go. I say you living, you gotta learn to let it go. See,
Y'all go cop that. That's Preach Collection Plate. He an ATL artist, y'all. He right down here in the ATL. Go cop that. Support your man Preach Collection Plate. Next Thursday, I see y'all. Mother's Day show. Y'all tune in. It's gonna be a banger next week. All right. Out.